It's time for me to build a tarnished member of the Sisters of Battle. Greetings everyone, I am Sister Lilia and today we're building a Penitent engine. Back in 2019, GW released the Sister of Battle Army box, which gave us the sculpts which would then go on to live on in the Sister of Battle Combat Patrol up until last year. The sculpts would also, the sprues from that box would also go on to be part of the Warhammer Imperium magazine. I'm going to build this thing up. I'm going to make a custom base for base topper for on top of there. And I'm probably going to show you how I paint it. If not, I'll show you the end result. Let's get started. So I pretty much build these according to the instructions. But yeah, I just want to mention with the operator for the Penitent engine, it is a pain in the ass to paint. Just the way that, and the Penitent engine itself, there are gaps that are visible that never like being painted, but also don't like you getting your brush through them to paint them and never want to let spray paint through them. On the side, under the arms. So yeah, you see me come in with a bit of primer here and there to just paint the areas that are a bit awkward. The primer won't get in. And in so doing, it makes it a pain in the ass to actually close the thing, but this, I've always found that the Penitent engine does not like going together at the sides properly. But yeah, once, as I'm building this half off camera, not intentionally, just the camera was angled in the wrong direction. I'm just focusing first on the core body of it and getting it sorted out. Yeah, the Penitent engines of the Ministorum are brutal pieces of work. Equal parts torture device and war machine. People who piss off the Ministorum enough get stuck on them. Now, to a degree, people who piss off the Sisters of Battle get stuck on them. But usually Sisters aren't put on a Penitent engine. Instead, that's what the modifier is for. But, yeah, I would not want to be one of the unfortunate people stuck on this. Here's a tip: if you find yourself in the 41st millennium, don't speak heresy around the Ministorum. You will be in trouble. And being stuck on a Penitent engine is not a fun way to go, because you will go. It's unlikely you'll survive the experience. But yeah, unlike the standard kit for the Penitent engine, the one that came in the army box is monopose, as are the Arco Flagellants. Now, it's not all that noticeable when you've only got 3 Arco Flagellants and 1 Penitent engine. It's a bit more noticeable if you get multiples of the set to build up and expand the unit, which I at some point aim to do, assuming I can find them for reasonable prices. But yeah, now cutting them out of the sprues and just cleaning up the extra detail, not extra details, the nibs and seam lines and mould lines and so on. But yeah, building these up and going fast because, well, I'm following the instructions. But yeah, Arco Flagellants, the other punishment. The Ministorum love doing horrible things to people, not all of whom may necessarily deserve it. Penitent engine, I believe to a degree you're still sentient on it. Arco Flagellants, you are not. You are lobotomized and turned into the fast charging equivalent of a servitor. But unlike servitors, these things don't mind lock. These things will charge at a moment's notice when either a key phrase or a button or command device is activated. These things will charge. And yeah, we're onto the bases now, so I rolled out and started texturing a sheet of a thing of milliput. Now, the sculpting detail you're seeing here at super speed took me nearly an hour to do, so it's going to be at super speed. Now, I went with more than one style because I figure it'll be useful beyond these miniatures, and also because the tiny style takes forever. and I'm aware of working time with this stuff, you probably get about an hour out of it. There are a few spots where it's set before I even reached it, like up in that top corner, or top left corner. There was a chunk that just is solid, that just was solid. So yeah, I come in and just add in curves and texture. Now I go on to use leftovers from this on other models, and it's a common thing with my character models that I will use leftover basing detail on them. So don't go assuming that any of this gets wasted. There is no waste with this. It's either directly a basing layer or it becomes a basing detail on top of a basing layer. Yeah. We've got lots of sculpting and such going on, and nearly at the end of it. Now that it's dry, I remove the models from their bases. Well, 3 of the 4. One of the Arco Flagellants decided to not stay on its base because it was only attached loosely. Yeah, that broke off, and doesn't actually bother me too much that it did, because it just adds to the texture. Now I had to make use of bicarb to get the foot to stay on the textured base, because I didn't sort the placement before attaching the bases to the milliput. So yeah, plus I went in with bicarb. I went heavy with bicarb to just add texture to the base and add dust and rubble, because Warzones are really clean. Now that one I attached on and had a bit of work to attach on because its foot had broken off its little basing detail. At least it made it easy to get it on there. You see me coming in with more bicarbon, cleaning up and filling gaps, and I just come in with more off-cut chunks and build up the base a bit. Okay, and with the basing details done and the model now painted, I can actually show off the Penitent engine. I'll put the Arco Flagellants up there in a moment, because all 4 of them don't fit together on the stand. Oh, they do. I was worried they didn't, but centre of gravity on this miniature is different, so yeah. Now, I've painted this up different to how I paint my Sisters of Battle walkers, because this is for the Ministorum, who I kind of invert the Sisters of Battle colours for. So where the robes of the Ministorum are normally, of the Sisters of Battle are normally red, with Ministorum I tend to make them purple. With the exception, of course, of the Arcos here, because I needed the tie-in colour, and the pink is the tie-in colour for the entire faction. And for that tying that faction with the Imperial Agents. Now for the comparisons. So the term scale creep often comes up in Warhammer with regard to new models being bigger than old ones. That wasn't the case with the Penitent engine. So here I have one of the old metal ones now. It's partway through being repainted and has been for ages. Maybe I should add it to the to this year's painting goal. But when the army box came out as the preview for the Sisters range, a lot of folks were disappointed by how much smaller the thing was than its predecessor. Now, admittedly, I have got that in a kind of dramatic pose, but still, it's still massively smaller. Now, the downgrade came with a couple of positive changes. One of which being that they could be taken in large units, initially something like up to 5, I think, or no, up to 6. That I think has changed since, but I could be wrong. But the standalone kit for them came with 2. Now, these have been built up as mortifiers for my Sisters of Battle, and I should probably paint that one up the same. Maybe? No, I'll paint that up as a Penitent engine because it's got the right kit. But yeah, we have here the Penitent family. They are one very unhappy and in pain family. But yes, in terms of scale to a Sister of Battle, that's how they scale. I mean, we've got the little Arco Flagellants here. A later addition coming in a year later to the Sister of Battle mech family was the Paragon Warsuits, which are decidedly a bit shorter, but act as mech suits for the sisters. Now, I'm not sure how they move properly without chopping the legs of the operator off, but yeah, now I've had trouble getting this thing properly primed, which is why it hasn't been painted already. But there is that goal of painting my subscriber count in minis, and we'll see how we go with that. But yeah, we've now got now I can't actually show what the classic Arco Flagellants look like next to these in terms of physically, because I never ended up getting them. They were part of the old Ministorum Battle Conclave, and moreover were an expensive thing to get hold of, being that they were all metal and monopose and kind of slightly pricey when I was working on doing armies on a much tighter budget than I am now. These are neat models. Just put now we've actually get a closer look at them. So I could have painted the little slits on that one's mask, but I didn't feel like it. And besides, I already put in enough work on the skin on them now. I'll probably come back and add in a wash or two, but yeah, like, these things are neat. Horrifying, the more so when you think about them, but they're still a neat kit. I'd honestly say be careful with these. Back in 2020, I bought a full squad of the proper kit, but they all got wrecked. All of their flaily arms are broken, and I'm not entirely sure where all of them are. So yeah, I haven't got them in the video as a result. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and maybe got some ideas for doing your own bases. Yeah, there'll be more Ministorum stuff in the future, both actual Ministorum like this, Ministorum Priesty stuff, and Sister of Battle stuff. Oh boy, there's a lot of Sister of Battle stuff, including stuff that's actually I'm nearly finished on painting at the moment. But yeah, anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully catch you around. If you're not, feel free to, if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. Anyway, catch you around. Bye.